Okay.
Okay, I think
We did it.
How do we fit all in?
Carefully.
This way, I guess.
Hey,
Okay.
there we go.
Are we live?
Well, actually, I don't need the blurry filter. Yeah, we're live. Let me know if you can hear us, people. Let me
Can
just.
you move it maybe further?
Yep.
That way?
There we go.
Oh, it's better.
So there you go. Yeah.
Ah,
I
oh
don't
my
know.
God, a lot of people.
Can you all hear us?
Let us
Everybody?
know in the comments if you can hear us. If this is okay, we see Happy Friday. I guess we're
Right.
live.
Some people are live, and I don't know what this like. The other thing is, I'm still trying to figure out. It says whatever. I don't know how many people. 12 people, something like that. Okay, you go to Twitter, right?
Yep.
And
Got
Twitter,
it.
you know, I'll get thousands of views on Twitter, and then like 0 on that, right? It's just the numbers don't line up at all. I don't know where they're reporting this and all that.
Really?
Okay, people, greetings from Argentina, and there's Simon from Belgium, I think, right? And hello, everybody else.
Hi.
Hi.
So, oh yeah, hi. This is so. Well, like, there you go.
Oh, this is
That's better.
This is Alina. I'm so in my camera. I don't know what
You can just point and I think you'll be fine.
Yeah,
Don't do it like that.
yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. So this is Alina. She's just a deity who works on GraalVM and makes the incomprehensible comprehensible, solving problems for the mere mortals, like Prometheus, like a modern day Prometheus, really.
Oh my God, that is so nice. Too nice, I would say.
And then I don't know what you do. What do you like?
Tell us. We want to know finally.
I go to many sessions and enjoy, you guys on stage and learn.
Oh God,
And learn. Yeah,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Mr. Devoxx,
Yeah,
the creator of Javapolis,
guilty.
which then, famously went away and nothing ever happened after that.
Yeah. Well, we got more like power forced in rebranding, and then I changed the Devoxx, and we started the franchise and conquered.
You're
Europe.
not gonna sue me if I say this is live from Devoxx, would you?
No, of course.
Okay, yeah, brag. I'm gonna brag. I'm gonna retitle. I can't do that right now. I will. So you created Devoxx.
22 years ago.
22 years ago. Oh my God.
Gee,
Damn, yeah, that's time flies, man.
Too much
And it's the 10th edition of Devoxx UK as well.
this is 10 years already.
Yes,
10
it was
years.
this year.
I think
Yeah.
I came to the very first ones.
No,
Sure.
you probably have. Yeah.
But 20 years, that's for Belgium or?
Well, it's 22 because we skipped 2 years.
Right.
I'm from
So
Thailand.
this year it's the 20th edition.
Oh, but it started in Belgium, right? That was the first, the original
in
one.
the same place,
Right.
in the cinema complex. So
Very cool.
We've got people.
History.
yeah, exactly.
We got people from Argentina. We got people from Thailand and Kazakhstan,
Kazakhstan.
and the world is so small. And one of the reasons it's so small is because we can get on a plane and go to a show like Devoxx Asterisk, and just be reunited with familiar faces and all that. That turned out well. Good job.
Thank you.
But we're here at Devoxx UK, right? So maybe you can tell us your
Right.
impression. How did it go this year?
I think Devoxx UK, it has really this family-like feeling, and it feels really. I mean, these are all very close friends, etc.
Right.
And it's like a family gathering. It really feels like
You
that.
come here, you hug everyone, you say hi to everyone.
I actually think it was 4 or 5 years ago. I said goodbye at the closing keynote, and I started
Right.
crying because I was like emotional about. No, I'm a softie on that level. But it feels really like a group of friends and sharing best practices and ideas, and it's lovely. I mean, that's why I continue doing this as well. It's just a
Right.
good thing. It's karma points. It totally is.
So here's the thing I've loved about you, buddy, is you were busy, I think, at first with running of the shows, and it always seemed like you were busy doing Romania. Hello from Romania. Hello from Morocco. Good stuff. Thanks everybody for joining us. It always seemed like you were busy running the show, and every single time I saw you at Devoxx in Belgium, it seemed like you just needed to get through it, right? Yeah, it was going to be a minute, and you were going to get through it. Now it seems like you've got it down to like a rhythm, and you can you can have fun
Yes.
in the shows. And now I even see you doing really cool stuff with code.
Oh yeah.
Like you're
Well,
like,
I mean, it's Devoxx Belgium for me is a part-time job. But
Yeah.
the other part-time, I can really code and hack and do crazy things like
Right.
you guys are like showing, and then I can
Yeah.
play at home, but also apply it to the Devoxx applications like the CFP and the mobile app
Right.
and so
What
on.
about the Insights app? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was
Definitely, yeah.
AI.
I mean, I had lots of fun with that. I mean, it's just doing R&D basically, and then applying it to the Devoxx tools and opportunities. So
I'm really surprised that I could just upload my photo and it will find all my photos from all those conferences in all the weird, angles and perspectives where maybe I would even recognize myself, but it's so good at that.
yeah. And because of you guys, I need to start adding paging now because you have so many pictures from all these places.
Oh, that's so fun.
But I mean, that's lots of fun. And the more you do this, the more you start dosing your energy as well a bit, right? Because it's
You cannot do it all, right?
Belgium, it's 5 days.
What
And we start on Sunday, so it's like 6 days. At the end
It's
of
a
the
whole
week,
We are
your
all
energy-
drained. We
yeah.
are all drained by the end of the week.
you're exhausted. You're exhausted. So you really need to then have a few weeks of downtime. I call it detox from Devoxx, basically. right?
Devoxx detox.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so that show is actually one of the old, I don't know, there's Java 1 and then
But there's many other ones out there.
older.
Like Fosdem in Brussels, is
right.
a huge one as well. I have a lot of respect for those guys.
Yeah,
They
of
have
course.
it really from an even different, more academic angle. But yeah, it's crazy. We have close to 20,000 unique developers attending these events
20,000?
every year.
Huge impact.
Oh, okay. So for
across
people,
all the
Yeah, across the Devoxxes and the Vox days.
let's talk about that. So for a minute. Okay. So for the people who don't know, there's a Devoxx. Do you call it BE or is it just still just Devoxx?
Devoxx Belgium.
Yeah. Devoxx Belgium. There's Devoxx Belgium, the flagship, I guess, the original East.
Yes.
And then there's a Devoxx France.
Well,
Is that
the
second?
France one is the second one,
Right.
and they will actually surpass us in number of attendees because they're going to add an
See.
extra level in Palais de Congrès. And so they will be able to get 5,000 people next year.
wow.
And they sell out in 13 minutes. In 13 minutes. So that's like,
Good job.
but the thing is, it's a national event. It's not
Right,
an international event.
right.
It's really for French from France with
Yeah,
French
yeah.
speakers. But
People from one country, I cannot begin to imagine that.
that's crazy.
It's also a really good. It's a good event. I was just there a minute ago. That's
And a
fun.
great vibe. The organizers like
Oh,
Antonio, Zavero,
Oh, they're
Nicola,
amazing.
they're like really interesting characters and
Yeah.
with a big heart as well. And that's what I like.
The
Like,
energy.
yes.
You can tell
Yeah.
every little bit has care. All the Devoxxes are there's a vibe to it, right?
Community, right?
But the nice thing is you've managed to capture the character. There's no like this is as English as a conference gets, and
Yes.
it's wonderful. I love
Yeah.
it. The Devoxx France, same thing. Okay, so but the point is, what I'm trying to say is, you've got different editions: Devoxx France, Devoxx UK, Devoxx Poland, Devoxx Ukraine, Devoxx Morocco, of course.
and Greece.
You had Devoxx Greece. I was just there. Well done, by the way.
Everything was a huge success.
Yeah.
Massive, nicely organized.
All compliments to Patroklos. I mean, I didn't do anything.
That's amazing. Can we mention the other one?
The other one,
Yeah,
I don't know which one.
closer to my home.
The US one.
There was that for a minute.
Oh
right?
yeah, we tried it. I mean, people were really, pulling my sleeve. Oh, you have to do one in the US and so
When
on.
was it? When was it?
It's,
Long time ago.
yeah,
Years
4 or
ago.
5 years ago.
No,
That
more than
long ago.
Longer?
It had to be. Yeah.
Maybe
4 or 5, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The pandemic.
2017, I think. But I could
Okay.
be wrong. I could be wrong.
Okay.
We tried it. Eclipse Foundation organized it. They did an amazing job.
Yeah.
But I think it was too close to San Francisco. That was one thing.
They're
We
expensive.
went too broad.
Oh, okay.
So I think in San Francisco, you
Yeah.
need to go deep on a subject and not go as broad. So we should have probably gone to the East Coast instead of the West Coast. But that's afterwards you can say, sure. But hey,
We don't have a
at
lot
least
of
I
Java
tried.
shows in the Bay Area, And by the way, I like that. One of the best talks ever was James Ward's Kafka talk
Yeah.
from Devoxx US. That
Yeah,
went
on the YouTube channel. it's
super
like,
viral.
wow.
You know?
I think it has
Okay.
200.
Okay.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. I think 300,000 views or
Yeah,
something.
easily. And well worth it. It was a great show. I mean,
Yeah.
you know James Ward.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Well, your talk last year with James at
Oh.
Devoxx Belgium was one of the
Yeah.
top-rated talks.
Yeah,
That's
great.
because of James, right?
No.
James, I love.
No.
I know, great, and that's great.
Again, the chemistry, and even with you two guys at the stage, the chemistry is really nice. As an attendee, you entertain and inform us
yeah.
at the same moment, and that's that's how.
I mean,
do
it's
it.
fun, but
Right.
also doing a talk with someone else in a way, it's easier because you share the preparation, but it's harder in a way, right?
yeah.
Because you have to interact, make it really interesting for people. You have to interact, share the work.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
Get
can.
you and
It's in my
Should be-
deodorant.
yeah.
Why are people wandering off frame? It's like
Something personal.
something I said. Jesus. Yeah, that was good. We had a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. That was our first run at it.
Yes.
it's already really good.
But we prepared a lot, let me tell you. And the
Yeah.
way we broke things before we got them right. Oh my God. So many attempts. Like I said, we were hunting for new, exciting, errors.
But also
and
simple.
mistakes.
It had to be, oh, never mind. Okay, that's a whole other Oprah. Let's not do that one. I wanted to. So you've got, what is that? 8 different Devoxxes, something like that? Or
Seven.
6, 7?
And then, US was the 8th, but
Right.
that was a one-time thing.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
We mentioned Morocco, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mentioned
of course.
Okay. I
Which
don't
I
want to
love.
forget any because of
I love. I have. I was. There was one year when I did. Me and Laurent Dogan. Has somebody else done it since? Done all of them?
No, I don't think so. There are
that must
different.
be challenging.
Yeah, and I think Tiffany wants to try to do all of them, but
Okay.
it's a challenge.
Yeah, it was. So fun one. I am.
Excuse me.
Laurent and I are the only Devoxx champions. Don't worry. Like you're gonna have a lot of fun, but it's work. It's work getting to all these places. You do it, and then something I
I
said.
don't do all of them.
Oh, what? Most of them are
My
right
wife
here.
credits don't allow me to go.
Oh,
You gotta limit them, yeah.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, so you also have the Vox things, which that was a more recent thing. That's 10 years or less, right? Like, what is
I
that?
think it's 7. I
7?
think it's 7 years. Yeah.
And what that was well, do you want some of this, by the way?
Yes, I would.
I don't have any cooties. It just occurred to me. But I was just sitting here thinking, gosh, I don't want to get a dry throat. I should sure drink some water. And then he's over there coughing and dying. And I'm like, God, I wish I could worry about myself here, you know?
Thank you, Josh.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry, man.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
I just did like that.
No, a complete asshole on my part. I'm sorry.
So we were talking about Vox days, right?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
The thing was that people did we had Devoxx for kids as well.
Oh God. I'm
Oh, man.
I'm so sorry, man.
We had Devoxx for kids, and then people were saying like, "Oh, I did Devoxx for kids. I want to do Devoxx now."
Yeah.
It's like, hold on, you just did an event for 30 children.
Right.
You can't do that for 3,000 adults.
Yeah.
So Mark actually came with the idea of we should do something, an incubator, and that's
Mhm.
where Vox Days
Right.
started.
And that's Greece, right? That started as an incubator.
Yes,
as
yes.
a Foxy
And
event.
in Greece, we did Vox Day CERN as well, which
Right.
was amazing to have. I mean,
I did that
CERN
one.
asking us, CERN asking us to do a Vox Days, and
Mhm.
That still blows my mind. I can't believe I got to do that. That was one of those events where it's just like, this is happening. I even brought my partner. I was like, you got to come with me.
yeah,
She's like,
absolutely.
and she's like, where? And I said, we're going to a laboratory where they work in physics. I'm like, and she looked at me like, why would I want to? And I'm like, just trust me. Just come. We're going to, you'll never get to do this again.
But was it a one-time thing? Because I don't think it's happening
I
now,
think
right?
we already did it twice,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
now we are in discussions
So
for.
it's more like not a regular thing.
It's
not
going to
a-
happen again.
Okay.
But we can only do it when it's in maintenance mode, because the deal is I only want to agree with it if we can throw with the speakers underground and
Right.
see the collider, because that's where the magic happens, right?
Right.
But that's I mean, come on,
Right.
having an event in CERN, I mean, it's like the
crazy.
mecca
No,
of
it's
science. It's the mecca of science. So
So for those of you joining, Alina and I sat down. We were going to do a show, and then our friend Stephan wandered
was
over.
running to catch his train,
Yeah.
and we caught him and put him
I
here.
literally threw a ball at him. He tripped, and I dragged him over. And then and now he's so this is we'll do another one, you and me. Just
Fine. No, it's amazing.
This has been I almost never get him on the show, right?
He's so busy. He has
Yeah.
no work to do. Unlike us in Developer Advocate.
Right. We're just
no.
yeah,
We always do this.
we play people who work on TV.
Yeah.
Actually, this is weird because this is the end of the show.
yes.
If I had asked you like 3 days ago, I can imagine the finger that you would have showed to me, like
No,
right
no,
at the beginning of
no.
the show. You
The
know.
beauty is because it's a franchise model.
Oh, right.
This is organized by the local
Oh, right,
group,
fair.
so I'm a tourist.
No.
I can really enjoy these events, go to sessions, relax, and then at my own
Right.
events in Belgium, I run around like a headless chicken from one fire to the other.
The feeling.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Okay, so if I'd asked you at Belgium, you would have given me
Yeah,
a finger.
yes.
Yeah, fair, well
Yeah.
deserved. But anyway, I'm just glad you're here. I
Yeah.
never get to sit with you, man.
Yeah.
I even trapped poor Mark Hazel. Was it last year or the year before? Like right after the pandemic.
Yeah.
Was it? He did an episode. I'm not sure if it was before the virus or after. But anyway, I remember talking to him in the office, and I had to wear a mask.
Oh,
and he
really?
did the podcast with me.
Wow.
Yeah. This show has meant a lot to people. I know there are people who have come to the Vox things for
Yep.
for smaller countries. It's nice to be recognized because a lot of
Yes.
people don't want to lay the capital out to take a risk on a small community about which they're not sure.
Yeah.
But people in those communities, they know in their heart of hearts, if you put an event together, people would come. And a lot of times they do,
Yeah.
you know, most of the time.
But also for speakers, it's a nice stepping stone as well, because like Vox Days is a bit smaller,
Right.
and it's their way in getting into the speaker circuit as well.
Because it's very hard to get into a conference like Devoxx UK or Devoxx Belgium. I think in the opening they said they had 1,000
Yes,
submissions from
You
like
get 1,000 submissions.
people. So like almost 700 people submitted to speak here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And we have only like 150, 170 slots. So
during 3 days, you cannot accommodate everyone, right? So it's very hard to get into because it's so good. I don't want to speak here.
in
Right?
Belgium, we could organize non-stop for 3 weeks a conference with all the talks. We have quality talks.
Right.
So
Oh yeah.
that's the worst day of the year, is that when I have to reject all of these good speakers and
Oh.
Then they post on Twitter, I got my rejection email.
yeah, and that's like, oh, it's a painful thing to do, but
it
it is what it is. Yeah.
That's and you know, I've helped with Spring One, I've helped with other shows. Heck, I was on the I've been on the CFP for a few of these things.
Oh yeah,
over the years.
yeah.
So like that's that culling of talks is the worst because it's you know, I don't know. Do you ever consider like having those people come and do something for the YouTube channels? Because we do that for Spring One. A lot of times we've got people, and it's not. Sometimes they really are just equal.
Yeah.
We've got talks that are as good as the ones we chose.
Yes.
There was no way to choose. We flipped a coin. That one got chosen, and the other one didn't.
Well,
but we say, come do a YouTube thing with us.
What we are starting to do more and more is get the community as well and give them possibility to rate talks.
Oh, I signed up for that.
Yeah.
As a community reviewer.
Absolutely. And so that way we have our program team. And
The official one, yes.
And so if you have to flip a coin, we look at the community.
But if they may ask, so how does that have an impact? So if the program committee cannot reach an agreement, that's when you fall back to those voices.
So we have two views. We have the views of the total ratings of the program committee, and the next in another column, the community. And then we look at the delta, or you know, and so on.
It's like an individual thing, right? You go through each, and
but they do have an impact. Totally, it's worth doing it.
Yeah.
But you don't have to review all the talks. You know, you can just focus on a track or on a specific.
Because it's crazy. I guess also like 1,000 submissions or even more.
All of them. You can't have an opinion on 1,000 talks. That's impossible.
Even if it's just a paragraph each. First of all, you can't have an opinion if it's just a paragraph. But second of all, after 1,000 paragraphs, I've lost the plot.
Yeah,
I don't.
Sure. Well, I am using ChatGPT to create summaries of talks which are longer, so you only have to review the summary.
Oh, that's
which reminds me, oh my God, how valid is the concern that people will start submitting?
It's already happening. It's already happening.
But can you tell when it's generated by ChatGPT?
No,
you cannot, right? Because
can't.
it's so good.
No, you can't tell it.
It's so good.
You can't
But
tell
what's your take on this? So is it like ethically acceptable or not?
For me, it's totally, because let's be honest, a lot of people select the talk just on the title.
Right.
So you need to have a good title. But as a program chair and program committee, we look at also the credentials of the speaker, because you can have a nice title and abstract, but if you're not
can you deliver that?
Yeah, you need to be able to deliver it. Especially in Belgium, if you have like a room of 700 people, you just don't want to throw a young, new novice speaker in front of the lions. So they need to have a bit of experience. They need to be fluent, etc., and maybe even have some references. So if they've already spoken,
maybe you can give us links.
Yes. And what we do, a lot of people don't know this, but we import all the ratings from all the different Voxxes and Devoxxes in one central repository.
Oh, wow.
So we know that if a speaker submitted and said, I spoke there, we can see what the ratings were. And if it's really,
you know.
But we want to have, I mean, for us, the most important thing is content. Content is king. It needs to be good content and well delivered. And because that's what people are coming from or expect from us as an event organizer. So, yeah. But you need to do a few risks as well. Like this morning, I really loved like the LGC, the London.
You need to give a chance to new speakers, right? Because otherwise, how are you going to speak? Everyone wants speakers who are already speaking, but how do you get into the circle?
You want to have new faces.
Yeah.
As well. And that's where like a Vox Day, if it's smaller, you get the opportunity to get in a smaller event. And then like there's multiple examples of that. Like Anna Maria, she started at Vox Days Bucharest, very small, and she is a rising star.
A keynote speaker and all. She's amazing.
Yeah, and there's multiple examples of that. Janssen as well. She does an amazing job as well.
I saw your tweet.
Yeah, the three Janssens. So that's really important as well, that we do have an influx of new speakers as well. Diversity is important, etc. And yeah, it's a balancing act.
And I think it's good too, because the new I hate to use the word blood, but you know what I mean, the new faces make the people like me who have been here a long time, they keep us honest. You know, because you don't want people getting used to it, and it just feels like I'm taking up a spot that somebody new and really eager to work for it would take otherwise, you know.
And so younger generations as well.
That's what I'm saying. The younger generation, if like, I'm glad you don't throw us older folks out, but it does make us work harder to
to stay there.
continue to
Right?
be worthy because we're self-conscious, like, oh, I better not just be here because I'm, I got to earn this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would go to somebody who really wants the spot, and it was, I wanted, of course,
Of course.
but these young people, they're what's the word, thirsty for, for the
driven.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and I remember being younger. It was good. Things didn't hurt.
But talking about new speakers in Devoxx Belgium, so maybe we can use this chance to give you a chance to talk about what kind of content you're looking for this year. So which formats maybe you're looking for, which topics?
So for us, the most difficult one to fill in is the deep dive talks, because that's like 3 hours. So
I mean, it's challenging.
that's a lot of content, and just the preparations, even for just a 1 hour or 50-minute talk, is already days.
I will register, and you know this more than anybody, that I have done more than a few terrible talks at Devoxx Belgium. Don't say it. But the problem is, and the problem with those deep dive ones is that you're in the movie theater, very big, comfortable chairs.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, cool temperature, a long day walking around, your back and your feet are hurting. You're standing on the hard floor, especially if you're in the expo hall for any length of time. So then you go to a talk that maybe it's not bad, but it's just not the best. And you're in those chairs, and I just end up.
Yeah, but especially if you have jet lag.
Oh gosh,
the Americans really hate that because it's too comfy,
too comfortable.
Yeah,
way too comfortable.
It's nothing to complain about, too comfortable.
So there was one talk, I don't even remember, and I'm not gonna name it even if I did. There was one talk where the poor presenter was clearly didn't have enough content, and so I think they were
like spreading during sort of those 3 hours.
You could see them getting slower and slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like in the talk we just did, I had to get faster because I just realized we're gonna run over it a little bit. Like slower it makes it even harder to stay awake, and
true.
Most talks are great. Mine have been terrible sometimes, so I get it.
That's why we actually, for the very first time last year, had some conference sessions also during the deep dive day. So
you could choose.
Yeah, so that way we had a bit more fresh content, and you didn't have to have the 3-hour sessions. So it's becoming a bit flu because.
What do you mean deep dive so the 3-hour session concurrent with the other one?
So Monday and Tuesday is deep dive, and then from Wednesday on is conference. And because we didn't have enough deep dives, I actually started scheduling also some conference talks, which I really didn't want to cancel.
Tools in action, those are also in the first 2 days.
Yes,
still all those like half an hour hands-on practical.
Focused. Yeah.
That's really brilliant.
So if you want to speak, I think tools in action is a good one to submit. We're stopping with the quickies.
We are doing a live stream.
That's okay. So this is Fox Day Zurich. And Pacino.
We're on a YouTube channel. Come over here.
Maybe.
Stay over there if you don't want to be on the camera. Okay. Good to see you. Hi. Come on.
You have a chance to advertise.
There's only 10,000 people watching. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Hello, I'm Stephan. Nice to meet you. I've heard a lot of things. You look really like your father. Hey, hello. Nice to meet you. Hey, hi. I wanted this to Stephan. This was the reason I wanted to start. Wow. Wow. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you.
I'm envious.
Sorry. No. That's great. Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye. Ci vediamo. Oh,
so that was Federico from Zurich, and Pacino. Yeah, and he's also involved with CERN.
Oh wow!
Okay. Yeah. So, and he has a nice family.
The nicest.
Yeah.
You couldn't see it on the camera because GDPR, but there's he just brought his 3 young ones and his better half, his partner.
Yes, exactly.
It's very cute.
Yeah, that's so great.
But as you can see, it is really that interconnection. Yeah.
Can't get that without years of work.
Yeah,
you gotta foster it in 20 plus years. That's
it's crazy. And I start thinking, of course, also like what's next? How should I make sure that this legacy can continue? So
stay relevant.
But not only relevant, but if I drop dead, I want to be sure. No, but you never know. There needs to be a certainty that this can continue. So I should not be the bottleneck or the single point of failure.
I mean, the pandemic got you thinking about mortality too, huh?
Oh yeah, well,
it got me. I go, anyway.
Yeah, well, the older you get, you need to be realistic. So
I hope I'm giving stinky talks at your shows with you there in 10 years and 20 years and 30 years. Okay, don't go anywhere.
30 years is not a good thing. I'm like 80 years old, like go to Devoxx.
Start that spring. I know. Yeah.
No, but it's gonna it will be fine.
Hi, Simon. Look at that. People are really being nice. What's going on? There's indeed a risk with the university days. Some magnificent talks on those days, but if you take a gamble and it turns out badly, dot.
That's true.
It's true.
Definitely true. It is a gamble, and that's why we really try to select on the
High.
quality.
And
I
then
think Simon is from Belgium. I know.
I know, yeah, he is, and he's on the show all the time. He's great. You think you saved hundreds of cash bringing
Yeah, I mean,
bringing what? I don't. Is this a Bitcoin thing? Is that what just happened?
No.
Bringing legends. Oh, okay.
Uh,
Because we have you two here, so he's excited about the opportunity to get a discussion with you two. I think.
Before I leave, I need to thank Devoxx Ukraine for this very nice hoodie. There's only 2 in the world of this, so
amazing.
make sure I'll be the
Devoxx
first.
Ukraine.
If they do ever an in-person event, as soon as possible,
wait.
I'll be the first one, signing up for sure.
Noted, and I will remind you about
Oh
that.
yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Excellent.
Yeah,
So thank you for the hoodie.
I want to go. Obviously, that's a great show. So, great hoodie. Can I wait? If
There's
they-
only 2.
if they
There's
come-
only 2.
Maybe they should sell those to people like me
Yeah.
and Josh, and we would buy them, and they can, send it to donations.
I'll let Katrina know. Who
Okay.
knows. Yeah.
in the future you really want to attend Devoxx, yeah, absolutely. Pick one. Even the Voxxes are
All of
fabulous,
them,
right?
all of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's like I said, I've spoken at every one there. I don't speak at places that aren't interesting to be at, it's not interesting for people who come to see my shows, but it's interesting for me to go there and have the be in that particular community. I know you cultivate really good communities, and that's everything in these shows. Yeah, definitely you should come. You'll meet Alina.
Hopefully.
And
yeah.
Josh.
And me, yeah. Like it's great.
So I think we are done with the Devoxxes for this spring season, right? The next one is Devoxx
Poland.
Belgium in Poland. right?
Poland. So we
Right.
have first we have Foxdays Brussels, the 23rd of May. There's still some seats available in Brussels, so it's a 1 full day with
Nice.
5.
The spring, no, the summer.
It should be good. And then we have Poland the end of the month,
Right.
and then it's
Done for the summer.
Done
and
for the
then
summer.
it's Devoxx Belgium.
then it's Devoxx Belgium, and then Morocco a couple of
Right.
weeks later.
Oh, it's later this year.
Well, I asked Butter, please, can you do it after Devoxx Belgium so I can go there and have like a semi-holiday because he does this like in nice hotels with swimming pools. So I said like, yeah,
Before, because you were still working and
Exactly.
you're stressed out because of
exactly.
Belgium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Deadline looming over your head. That's the worst.
yeah.
And unlike, so this is the thing. I would say that our being honest, being a developer advocate is
Amazing.
well, sure, yeah. It's not like it's a hard life, but the deadlines are more real for this. If your project isn't ready to ship when you think it's gonna be ready to ship, fine, just move the card over and it'll be fine. If you can't get on stage and do the thing you're supposed to do, though,
It's a
It's a
hard
hard
deadline.
Yeah,
Hard-
like,
yeah,
You
hard-
need to go out there and you need to have something to talk
Yeah.
about and show and get
Yeah.
it working. And
It's a hard deadline.
hard. So anyway, for those of you wanting to apply, is that CFP for Belgium?
Next month.
Next month.
Oh,
Next month from the 1st of June till mid of July. And definitely if you have a great talk, you have a bit of experience, and you're not afraid of standing in a big cinema room in some big city.
Easier for people.
I mean, come on, it is what it is, right? It is
scary.
daunting.
It
It
is
is
scary.
daunting.
it's
But
that's the thing. I don't know, for those of you who haven't been there, he holds it in a movie theater, a cinema, and you can't see into the audience because the lights are so bright.
Yeah.
yeah,
But there could easily be 700 plus people there sitting on the
See,
floors.
that's a good thing, right? The lights are blind and you don't see people.
Yeah.
It's not that scary.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
anyway,
You just
anyway.
imagine that you're alone.
Yeah.
Just do your thing.
Oh, wait.
What's happening?
Wait a minute. Oh, that's why this is so. Wait.
We talked about ChatGPT, right? So that's why we're getting this comment.
I'm a coordinator down here in the Brazil show, and I realized that many talk submissions were created by ChatGPT. How do you deal with that there?
But stuff already
Well,
covered.
I've
But
already-
maybe you can just repeat quickly how do you evaluate those sessions,
Yeah.
right?
So I don't care if they use ChatGPT for the title and description, but it's really all about the speaker credentials. We will do some research if he or she has already spoken, if there are any YouTube links, or if they're already in our system, because if they've spoken at other events
Right.
from Foxdays Devoxx, we will see the ratings, etc. So
So if I were to submit a organic abstract, but then come and play the text to speech on stage from a ChatGPT article and just use that as my presentation.
well, you'll be penalized by the audience, basically. I mean, if it's
If you
Yeah.
cannot do it, then
Yeah, if you can't deliver, then people will really rate you and basically get publicly disgraced on Twitter or so. to
Not
speak.
again.
so it might work one time. That's what you're saying. Right?
Yes.
You get
Yeah.
just once.
You have one shot.
But even so, if you don't have the credentials, if you've never spoken at an event
Yeah.
and they try Devoxx for the first time, you will
Yeah, and you
most likely
probably
not get selected.
You probably also look like industry background. So like, did you ever work with this thing that you're talking about?
Yeah, we
That
do
also-
research on
yeah.
it for sure. Once they get selected, we do research. So yeah,
So it's not easy. We are still got our jobs. All good.
yeah.
It's another. Okay, so like, do you ever have people that just come and do? You know who did a great job of it actually? Arun Gupta. He's one of the best speakers, out there. Full stop, bar none. No questions. And he did a lot of like Java talks, Java EE, right? And then he took like not a left turn, but kind of different path. He went down the Kubernetes space for a while. And I think those talks were fabulous as well. Just an amazing, that's the rare bird. Same thing with James Ward. He was doing Flex and Flash and whatever. And then he did
Absolutely.
Roku.
I mean, they're good orators,
Yeah.
good speakers. So whatever subject, they're driven, they're really motivated. They will know the subject.
Right.
You
for
can
sure.
learn the subject. I mean, it might
Yes.
take a while, but you can learn.
Yes. And then there's Dr. Subramaniam.
That's next
ridiculous.
level. Like, let's compare it.
But not only that, the way he travels, it's similar to you as well.
Yeah.
It's like from one time zone to the other, his wife sending his fresh clothes to the next destination. You go like,
But I think he also does. I think I've heard that he does this like monthly jog tours. So he chooses a month a year that he does jog. So like a smaller community events that are usually also free. And he comes to all those smaller communities and gives talks there. So maybe people who cannot attend a conference or have other things to do can still see him speak in person. That's impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. He's on a different league on his own.
He's his own track and concept, and he's
such a nice guy.
And it's weird.
Genuinely is, yes.
He's got the unique honor of being the only thing that ChatGPT asks for help. Like we ask ChatGPT and they send him a message. I love that guy.
I need to catch my train. So
we already caught you on that way to.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. And
I'm gonna.
That's very
So you're on the YouTubes. I'm gonna put your name in the title that we trapped you
cool.
and got you on the video. Thanks. This is
Thank you for this opportunity,
my friend.
I'll see you. I'll probably see you in October.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Likewise. And
you already get the Bye everybody.
See you. Bye bye.
We're still here, but you.
I was staying.
Well, but bye. Thanks again, man. When do you have to? When's your like?
Let me just.
Yeah.
How do I do this?
It's
This
disorienting.
is hard. Okay. It's 4. No, I still have time until 5.
Okay.
Probably. It's fine. Yeah.
Let's do it because I want that was a good conversation, but I want to continue. Some people came here for the GraalVM. I think all of them, because that's what's in the title, right? Let's talk.
No, it was positive things, right? As people told us, Spring Boot and GraalVM, that's the best.
Well,
thing.
okay, but I mean,
So
okay.
for context, what we are talking about, we just did a talk here at Devoxx UK, and we talked about beautiful GraalVM.
Yeah.
So Spring Boot meets GraalVM, all the things, and how do you make those Spring Boot apps work on GraalVM. And it was very intense, right? We showed a lot of stuff in that under 1 hour, not even everything we wanted to show. So, but we had to skip because it was too long.
Yeah, it was. But on the other hand, I liked that we. So okay. First of all, who are you? Let's start with basics. You're on the GraalVM team.
I work on the GraalVM team at Oracle Labs, and I'm a developer advocate for GraalVM. So conferences like this is what I do along with some other things. And Josh is also a developer advocate, so we did this session together.
Right. And so we just did this. And okay, so you're on the GraalVM team. GraalVM is an open JDK distribution that also has some extra really amazing things that go well beyond.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, the native image compiler, and then of course the truffle VM and a bunch of other stuff. We did a thing about the native image compiler. Right?
Yes, so we are focusing on this part of GraalVM where you take a Java program, compile it ahead of time to another executable, so it doesn't need a JVM to run. And this way it can start fast, with memory, and you can ship it as is without JVM. Hey, you want to step in for our stream? Say hi to the people. So we're doing a live stream about the talk we did and what's happening here.
Hello, people.
So we just talked to Stephan. He was literally just here for like 30 minutes. He just ran. I just saw him running down the stairs like so annoyed with
running
me.
away.
Yeah.
From us.
From you folks.
Yeah. And then so this is Mark.
Who organized this amazing thing?
Devoxx
UK.
Right. One of the goodest shows ever.
The goodest.
I like that. My kid.
Yeah.
And it's 10 years anniversary this year, right?
It's the 10th anniversary this year. Absolutely.
Huge.
So, yeah, it's been tiring.
But,
It's-
but now you can relax.
Look at
You're
him.
all done. It's
he's 31 years old. Look at his head. Look
Yeah,
at
I
him.
know. Look,
The show is taken from him.
great, just great. When I was writing the opening deck, actually, I was like, "Hey, look, let's put some statistical analysis on those 10 years," and all I could come up with was shed loads of coffee, some food, lots of grey hair,
No sleep.
and not last night, but like some nights there is.
Some.
But yes, indeed. So everyone that's watching that's never come to Devoxx UK, come
It's
come
great.
along.
It's amazing. You should come.
And you get like stellar rock star like super groups like these two coming together, doing cool
You
stuff.
put a stream, as you are, just walking around.
Absolutely.
Trying to relax finally.
And apparently, I've got to go and deal with like some furniture that needs to be
We're gonna
removed because
use this live.
it's like there's like glamour. It's nothing but glamour.
There, friend.
There you
There.
go.
You're almost there.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you for
Thanks, buddy.
listening. Thank you so much. It was amazing.
Who are you live streaming to?
Everything, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn.
Just the world.
Just the
Yeah,
world.
thank you so much.
Bye, buddy. Okay, back to where we were.
Native
Before
image.
before the conversation got better.
This is so chaotic. So people who thought that our talk was chaotic, this is
Right.
even more chaotic.
Well,
Right?
here's the thing. It's the end of the day. Like I don't know if people can see this. Look.
They're
The show is empty.
everything as we speak.
Well, and yet somehow we're still having all these
But
wonderful.
we have this beautiful background because the venue
walk-bys,
is
you
so nice. Look at that.
I love it.
Amazing.
Okay.
So beautiful GraalVM.
Yeah.
Or Spring Boot on GraalVM. How cool is that?
Right. Well, so this talk was kind of fun for me because I always show the first like 5-minute demo, right? The look, it's
The
just
happy path.
the happy path. Yeah, exactly. Which is great. That's what we want people to have. It's just it would be sad if it didn't work for some minor reason and people didn't have the there's like some pitfalls. All technologies have things you need to know to use them safely and competently. And so it'd be sad if it just didn't work for some minor reason that was easy enough to fix. And for which, the GraalVM and the Spring teams have already provided mechanisms to address them, And so the whole thing I was just really glad we got a chance to explore that, explore all those use cases.
Right. So it was like 2 parts to the same session. In the first 5 minutes, we showed building a Spring Boot app from the scratch. So your normal production app with H2, with web, with all the things. So building that as a native image, shipping works amazing, starts fast. That's your happy path. And we expect that for most of the users, that will be everything they need to know about Spring Boot and GraalVM, right?
Yeah.
So you pull all your dependencies, all the config is provided, discovered for you. It just works and it works on the JVM.
Right.
So that is the happy path. But then we spend some time talking about what do you do when things do not go on the happy path, because there are a lot of things happening behind the scenes during this native compilation of Spring apps. And that's what we showed. So how you can configure all those things such as reflection, resources, proxy, serializations, etc. So how do you make all those things that Josh calls stuff?
Yeah.
How do you make that work manually or like semi-manually if things don't work out of the box? So that is what our session was about. Maybe we should actually do like a proper video for it.
We should. Like I really think we
Maybe we'll get the recording. So the recordings, like
Sure.
Devoxxes, are very nice because the recordings come up next week. So as soon as next week, this should be public on YouTube.
Devoxx UK. Yeah, watch that video. We'll put a link in the show. I'll post it or something on this channel.
And we tweet
and
it.
Twitters and all that.
Yeah,
Okay, so we got some thoughts here. We got some thoughts. People are like
amazing.
chiming in. Okay. Indeed, looking forward to hearing more about the GraalVM plans. What about that? What's the next big release of GraalVM?
The next big release is coming up on June 13th. Mark your calendars. On June 13th, we will have our
16th?
13th, 1-3.
What 13th? Oh, okay.
13th, yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
So then we will have our new big major feature release. So we will get a lot of stuff that we've been working on for the past 6-7 months
Wow.
in that release. And that's all the things you like. So new features, new native image improvements around developer experience, more performance even. That is all coming up soon. Stay tuned. We are super excited for the release.
Right. That's gonna be good. Okay. And what are some of the big features?
I mean, you gotta wait and see.
Okay, fine. Okay, so that was there. Good.
But
stuff.
I mean, one thing that you could probably wait for is that we are catching up with the latest Java releases. I mean, we always do, and we try to release as soon as Java releases.
Yeah.
And in this time, we will have JDK 17 and 20 builds, I think. So if you want to use all the latest cool features of Java 20 with GraalVM, in June, you'll get the builds. Or if you're impatient, as for example, if Josh is, as you all know, you can get developer builds from GitHub. So
Yeah.
those are preview builds. You can already test things and let us know how they work for you. So if you don't have the patience to wait for proper builds, get dev builds and let us know how it works.
I can't wait. And then, what do you think about AWS Lambda on Java 17's support and GraalVM Spring Boot 3's native images on Kubernetes scale to 0. So I think basically, yeah, do it. There's actually a project called Spring Cloud Function, which is a way to write serverless Lambda style components. And there's a demo in there that demos using Spring Boot 3 native support and then there's even deploys to AWS Lambda. Why
Right.
wouldn't you? That's a perfect use case.
That is true, but also if you want to build apps that are platform vendor neutral, you can do so with GraalVM and Spring Boot, and those will start fast, so you wouldn't have all those issues with startup memories, etc. So with kind of vanilla plain GraalVM and
Right.
Spring Boot, you can build those apps and then deploy them to whatever, and you will have all those benefits. And I think
Also,
actually,
Spring Cloud Function is built in Spring Boot. Yeah.
oh, that's
Oh,
excellent. And I think I saw Sebastian Deleuze giving a talk about this recently, actually about scaling to 0 and
Right.
how you can do this with Spring Boot and GraalVM. And that's a very nice talk because he shows that you can take this app and then it goes serve traffic or whatever it's supposed to do. And it will go down to 0 and will not use any resources at all while it's idle. And that's exactly what you want to approach for example, serverless applications, right?
perfect.
So just look for that talk and talk specifically about scaling to 0 with Spring Boot and GraalVM.
It is a great talk. There's even a little bit of WebAssembly. WebAssembly! I love WebAssembly. This one right here. Putting that in the chat. That's
Awesome.
that is what is that called? That's Scale to 0 with Sebastian Deleuze. I'm gonna put that right here. Sebastian, can I do the accent? I need the accent. It's not there. Sebastian Deleuze.
Perfect.
Scale to 0. Talk. Okay. Good. Post.
Good. Do we have more questions?
Yeah. Well, so there's one of our friends here, Sanjeev. It says it looks like you've had issues migrating to Spring Boot 3 and because of JPA. Please file bugs, but also you might want to watch this talk that Alina and I just recorded not an hour ago, right? Like here, literally in the room over there. We were just there, and we came out here to bring our circus.
We still have that
to the
for the
YouTube.
talk, so we
Yeah,
decided to do this live stream right
I'm
away.
still in my shirt. I mean,
Yeah.
it's yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry about the issues. I'd love to file issues. We want to know.
Yeah, but about library specifically, maybe you want to say a few words about this, right? So what we talked about in our session is that native image compose application ahead of time under closed wall assumption because we want to do all that work at build time, get it out of the way so the application can start really fast when it starts.
Right.
But it also means that all of that there is to know about your application needs to be known at build time. So if your library is doing some dynamic things such as reflection serialization, etc., there needs to be configuration for it because until that runtime happens, technically there is no way to know about this dynamic behavior. So there needs to be configuration for it. It can come from multiple sources. So one is you can provide such configuration manually yourself in our favorite format, which is JSON. But writing, JSON is not something we all love. So preferably that config will be coming from the libraries themselves. And what we show in our talk is that actually there are a lot of libraries that are the cool kids on the block and that already adopt a native image and they ship configuration for native image within the library itself.
Right.
So if you go to the source code of H2 on GitHub like we did, you'll
Right.
find reflect config JSON
JSON.
in
Yeah.
the library itself. And that will just work out of the box.
Right.
But not all of the libraries have done that work yet, and they're not there yet. So the next best thing is that we created this centralized repo on GitHub where people can contribute, share, and reuse configuration for native image. And what is even better is that our even incredible plugins coming from GraalVM can discover this config automatically if you enable this in your build file.
Right.
And folks like Spring Boot team over here also made this discoverable automatically. So if you're building a Spring Boot app and it has certain dependencies, they will go and automatically discover this configuration for you. So that is the state of working with libraries in native image mode as right now. And my point there was, if there is a library that you think should be working with native image, but it's not yet, the best thing to do probably would be to go to the library and raise a ticket and ask them to provide this configuration, just to let them know that you will be interested in building this library in the native image mode. So maybe they can look into that and prioritize that. And if not, contribute to that repo, which is called GraalVM Attributability Metadata repo, would be also a nice thing to do for yourself and other parts of the community.
Right.
That is that. Okay, what's next?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you seem a bit tired now.
No,
So grab it out.
I'm so this guy or person said I advised one of my clients to use Spring Cloud Function for AWS Lambda. Nice. I'm a fan. Yeah, good stuff.
Nice.
There's an example in the Spring Cloud Function project repository there. So yeah, it's supported. We've done it. It's It's great. You're gonna love it. And I'm sorry it's not working out of the box, by the way. Like I said, it's certainly not expected that everything will ever work. But obviously I wish it did. What else? Do we have any other questions? Do we have any other? Oh yeah, native builds are fun for Spring Shell. Yes, so Spring Shell is a project that I don't know enough people appreciate. I've done a couple of Spring tips videos on it over the last,
So what is it about those of us who maybe don't?
Yeah, so Spring Shell, long time ago in a galaxy far away, we had this thing called we had a Spring Roo. Now Spring Roo is a code generation library.
Code generation, your favorite thing.
Yeah, and we kind of went full circle, didn't we? It's a code generation library, and you would sit there on the command line and like say, Roo generate whatever. It's like Ruby on Rails. It would generate scaffolding. It would generate customer entity and controller and all that stuff. Okay, so it had a console that had a shell. So you get into the shell, and it was a really sweet kind of thing. But in order to make it work, there's like native code and read line, curses support, all this weird stuff that had to be done to make it work. And we did it. It was fine. And then that code ended up being useful. I think at some point it was like used in some sort of thing at VMware internally, and we used it for a few other things in the Spring Cloud Data Flow. I think at some point maybe it still does. It uses it, right? So it's just become one of these great things for building tab completable, shell applications. We have a REPL. You can actually have commands and tables, and you can do input and print out things with custom conversions and all that. Really nice way to build a shell CLI, not just a CLI, a REPL. Like you hit go and it logs you in, and you got a curly angle bracket, and you can do tab completion, -- tab complete.
Okay.
It's really, really smart. It's a great way to do it, and there's a whole API in Spring to do that. But it requires you to run on, it's the JVM, right? So you have to do Java -jar, mycli.jar, right?
And you want a CLI to be very fast, available immediately, right?
And also, I don't mind deploying a, CLI.exe for Windows, CLI dot whatever, no dot, just CLI for Unix OSs and so on. So we had this thing called Spring Native. You remember, Spring Native was the precursor. It's sort of the experimental incubator for Spring Boot 3's AOT support. That support landed eventually in Spring Boot 3 AOT, but the Spring Shell lead got it working on Spring Native. So we've had native Spring Shell support for years now, right?
Leading edge.
Yeah. It's because such an obvious Lambda and CLIs are so obviously suited for this, right? So I've done Spring Tips videos on just Spring Shell, and then as soon as we had that native support, like the same day, basically, I did a video on that back in Spring Native. I should do one for the Spring Boot 3.
But it just works, right? So the Spring Boot 3 just works like it did before.
And it's crazy good because now you can it's a client. So this brings us to another thing that's really useful, is that we have this amazing GitHub Actions action for GraalVM, right? GitHub Actions is a continuous delivery, continuous integration platform. You git commit, git push, it kicks off a GitHub action. You can do a matrix build. You can say to GitHub Actions, I want to run the same build, the same exact process on Windows and then Mac and then Linux, or actually you can do it concurrently. So it'll dump out at the end of each build, it'll dump out, you can have it do a GraalVM native image compilation at the very end of the thing. And at the end of that, it'll dump out a, CLI.exe, send it to a package repository, and then you got one for Mac, one for Windows. So now you've got cross compilation
for native image,
and it's a CLI, so you want people to have as many operating systems as possible, right? So you can easily just write code in Spring Shell, and then make tarballs with your CLI for your Mac, Windows, Linux, or whatever, or use JReleaser from our buddy Andres Almire. You could use that to.
And I think it's his birthday today, so happy birthday!
Feliz cumpleaños, amigo. Yeah, happy birthday to Andres Almire. Yeah.
Yeah. So about GitHub Actions, just to add a bit more context, people often ask us, can we get cross compilation from native image for various platforms? So I can build something on my, let's say, Mac machine and deploy it to, I don't know, Linux, Windows, whatever. But the thing is, it's a bit untrivial because GraalVM native image uses some JDK specific classes for each platform, right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you cannot build on your local machine and ship it to another platform. But something like GitHub Actions, right, is your way to ship and build various platforms. So if you want to, you can do so. And
it's free. Just use GitHub Actions. It's really good. It's really good.
And what's funny, even rather interesting and helpful is that even with GitHub Actions, you can build even bigger Spring apps, and the resources you have there are available again for free are sufficient to build Spring Boot apps for all those platforms again for free. So cross compilation works on all the platforms. And thank you for the question about CLIs, because it's really a good question.
And you can, the other thing is that, you can do matrices. You can do matrix builds mixing JDK versions and operating systems. I don't know why you would want to do that, but if you had like, I want to run this, I want to build library code that, whatever.
But I guess you can also do like for operating system and architectures, right? Which again, a different thing.
Exactly.
So yeah,
totally different. You're right. Mac OS ARM versus, I don't know if they have ARM on Mac yet, but
maybe they don't, right?
I don't know. But everything else they've got for sure. Intel.
But even if they don't, it's probably coming soon, right?
And for the Spring Shell apps that I tried, I'm pretty sure it works on Rosetta. Like if I did a Mac Intel build, it worked on Rosetta. So either way, just check it out. Really, really useful. And I agree. The CLIs are such a natural use case for, because it's just great to be able to write a CLI now. I can solve the problems I've had. Because I love Python, I love Ruby, but they're the worst. They're the worst way to build a CLI.
Okay.
Because especially Ruby breaks every point, like really. So you have to install the Ruby runtime on each user's computer on Mac and Windows and Linux. You've got a bunch of code that is tied to specific native libraries, and you don't know it until you run it on some other platform. You're like, oh, this just doesn't work at all. And then of course Ruby, 0.1 release. If you have Ruby 1.8 or whatever, I'm using old examples, but if you have Ruby 1.8 without whatever, and then they were running 1.9, your code doesn't run, and it's slow too for startup, right? So
also, if you're a Java developer, which I assume most people watching us are, right, you can just write those in Java using all your favorite systems and libraries and IDEs.
In Java, it's a little bit better. I can do a Spring Boot jar, with all the other jars inside of it, and then I just need a JDK, and I can even make it executable. Right. But you need to have the JRE somewhere. Now with native images, I don't need any of it, and it's faster. It's just perfect. Whoa.
Oh, that's so nice.
Thank you. That's really great. And it's a very interesting point in time for both GraalVM and Spring Boot 3. Yeah, just the best. I cannot wait to see what the future looks like, given the trajectory we're on right now. Yeah.
Hey, but when do you folks have the next major release or something like that? So we have one in June, and you?
In a week or two. 3.1.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Cool.
3.1 will come every 6 months. We do a new release. So
do we now? Okay.
Yeah. So 3.1 will come out this May right now, the month we're in right now as we record this. I don't know the exact date. We can you can look at, how you can find out, friends. I know Alina knows this, but everybody else, you go to calendar at spring.io.
That's nice.
It's my 17th favorite place on the internet. So here, what's the date? We're 12. Here's Spring Boot 3.1.
Right before Spring.io.
Right here, May 18th. You jumping Jehoshaphat. That's 6 days from here. Oh, Christmas has come early.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, well, 3.1. Yeah, so lots of. So question is, Project Loom support, is it coming? I mean, Java 21 is less than 6 months away.
Right.
It'll have Project Loom. Spring, we've already published blogs demonstrating how to use the early preview releases of Project Loom with Spring. But as soon as there's a GA release, we'll ship a GA version of Spring Boot that has support for that stuff, right? So the last question then is
for GraalVM. But actually, you can use it already. I think we showed this at Devoxx Belgium last year. So what you can do is you can get our JDK. I mean, I guess the last release was 19 builds, right?
Okay.
And you can, even with 90 image mode, which is even cooler. So you can use virtual threads with GraalVM, only you would need to pass this enable preview flag because it's a preview feature. So the time applies to native image.
Right.
But if you do so, you can compile the application to native using virtual threads. And then we have a super cool demo where we are running Game of Life. So this super cool, computation intensive app on the native image mode, and it's using behind the scenes virtual threads Project Loom. So it's possible if you go for it. I think we have in GraalVM demos repo on GitHub, we have this demo that you can build and run yourself in native using the best of both worlds. So virtual threads and native with GraalVM.
And this gets me back to my bugaboo, the thing I always think about all the time. And again, it's a completely ridiculous mental exercise, but just indulge me here, friends. What would it take to build Kubernetes in Java? Nobody's going to do that. We should not do that. There's tens of millions of human R&D hours that have been put into Kubernetes, and it works fine. I'm not saying we should do it. I'm just saying, what would it have taken for people working at Google a decade ago to make the decision to go with Java versus Go. Okay. Now, Google being the people that created Go notwithstanding, technically, what would it have taken? It would have taken concurrency support, like Go routines, right? Now we have good entrenched reactive support, and Loom is nearly here. So check, got it right there. It's fine. What about statically linked, self-contained, fast, light memory footprint binaries?
Look at that.
That's GraalVM. Got it. It's here. It's real. And then of course the final thing is easy interop with operating system primitives, right? So if I wanted to talk to the kernel, talk to POSIX and all that, Java, for all of its amazing features, is a very insular community. We don't make it easy to talk to native code, right? But Project Panama seeks to change that, right? And that's certainly more in the horizon. That's not Java 21 as far as I know. But I'll bet once Project Loom's out the door, that'll get more attention. You know, I wonder if that's the case. I have no idea. You could tell us. You're on the inside. Look at her, poker face. Look at her. She's not going to tell us.
Trying to keep it face. Yep.
But I can't wait. Project Panama is the last.
Me too.
Last column there, right? Oh, hi. Good to see you. Hi.
Oh, and I
Slap-
see
yeah.
Ukrainian emoji,
Yeah.
yellow,
Oh.
blue heart. That is so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrei.
Yeah.
Дякую.
Slava.
Okay, so we see people are even more
right?
excited for 3.1 than 3.0.
Yeah. 3.1. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, 3.1 is, like we just said, six days from here. It's been a really good few weeks. Last week we got Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Today we got Zelda Breath of the Wild, and next week we're gonna get Spring Boot 3.1. All equally fun in different ways. Okay.
Very comparable.
Right,
yeah.
right, exactly. I in my head they're all exactly the same in terms of the dopamine rush. And 3.1 has Docker Compose, test containers built in, and then the the reset cycle, the development reset cycle. So that's gonna be great.
So that's next week. And next week, I actually also at Spring.io. So maybe we can use this chance to advertise. If by any chance any of you are in Barcelona next week, join us at Spring.io, and it's going to be amazing.
It'll be fine. Yeah, Spring.io. Obviously, you should have come to Devoxx UK. You should have. You missed out. This is on you. I'm gonna just. It's on you. We all make mistakes though, and
Next year, do better.
I'm willing to forgive and forget, but you gotta go to Spring.io. It's the only way to to
Make up.
Yeah,
I mean, not exactly, but
your failings they're adding up. They're mounting. No more failing. Go to Spring.io. Hey, actually, Spring.io is in Barcelona. So
one more reason to go.
it's a big reason. It's a big, I like you, I don't really have the freedom or the ability to let poor inclement weather dissuade me from a conference that I would otherwise go to. But on the opposite side, if you're a consumer of a conference instead of a provider at a conference, it can be a heck of a reason to go to a show instead of not, So Spring.io, Barcelona, Spain, paradise, basically, right? I think if you look up the word paradise in the dictionary, it just says Barcelona, right? So,
And we will be there, and we will talk about Spring and GraalVM and all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
So that will be amazing.
it's been fun. It's going to be fun. Okay. I think we're good. I think we did it. I think we
we're good. I think we have any more new questions at least, but you can always find us on social. Our DMs are open, I guess.
yeah.
So you can
But
always ask us
I'm
something.
typing Alina's Twitter. All right. I'm typing poorly.
I feel bad for you having to learn how to write my name during those 3 days.
It was easy. Easy.
And in Josh, so you can also drop him a message. And if you
Oh,
have
yeah.
any questions about Spring Boot and GraalVM or anything else,
They can't get rid of me. I pop up in their notifications. Look at them. Hey, okay. Thanks, Alina.
this was awesome.
so
Thank you
much
for the
fun, my
talk.
friend.
That was amazing.
My pleasure. It was so much fun. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Go play some Zelda. Bye.
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 See you.